Hi all, welcome back to Charmakeupcorner. I'm in Dallas Fanexpo 2023. I'm down at the convention center. I am walking through and trying to get to the Cobra Kai panel with William Sabeka and Ralph Macchio. Make sure to give me a like, comment, and subscribe. Greatly appreciated. Trying to get through the madness of people here. So let's dip on down. And we're gonna swing by. Oh, there's Ariel. There were so many Little Mermaids. I loved it. I tried to get pictures of every.
They feed us, they throw us back in the cage and get some sleep. They were always putting us that we didn't know it was in Dallas.
I didn't invite William.
It's okay.
I needed a break, folks. I
had a Texas Cobb salad in my room and it was awesome.
That's the best. The night before was room service. That's my favorite. But yeah, for the most part, we need our energy for this. So maybe 25 years ago we could have done both, gone out all night and showed up. A little tougher these days. So happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, now of course you're making new memories on the set of Cobra Kai. Has there been a standout Cobra Kai memory that just is like, I will never forget this in my life? It's just been so special.
There's too many to choose from because it's the cast of the show is so amazing. The young cast of the show is so inspiring to us, and then when we get the chance to play in the sandbox with some of the original OG characters from the films, that goes to another level. It's really hard to pick.
Absolutely. How about for you?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is what Ralph just kind of hit on, is the young cast. We've been doing these characters for a long time. To see these new kids and these new casts flourish, the school fights just sticks in my mind as just one of the classic signature parts of the show. And Miguel falling off the balcony and the tables were turned at that point. So that's something. But all of it, getting to work with the OGs. One of the most meaningful episodes for me was, I think it was 2, when I got to work with the original Cobra Kai cast. The guys, Ron and Tony and Rob. Rest in peace, Tommy. That was really special. We did that scene and we were supposedly in Big Bear and we're around a fire and hanging out. And those guys became my best friends after Karate Kid. We hung out for many years after that. We stayed in touch all the time, and we did those trips to Big Bear. We actually, in real life, would go to Big Bear. And I remember actually a time I had this Honda Accord, and I had all 3 of those guys in my car, and we were zipping around, going up in Big Bear. I can't believe I'm telling this story, but I'll do it. And it was cold, and so I was just kind of hot-shotting and just pulling up the emergency brake on these on these turns, and we were sliding out and everything, and they were like, "You're gonna kill us." I don't know what I was thinking. Don't ever do that. But I just remember I just kept pulling the emergency brake and sliding out in these big turns with this snow banks and stuff in Big Bear. But anyway, that was working with those guys was really special, and I'm glad we got to do that. When we started the show, the only thing I had in my apartment in Atlanta when I got there was a picture of the original Cobra Kai's. It was just a black and white of all of us at the Karate Kid tournament on my wall, and I was kind of paying tribute to them and bringing them with me, and kind of missing them because Johnny worked as a team with those guys, and it felt weird to just be solo. So to have them come back was great. And then all the other cast, everybody that's come in. I love working with every one of them. It's all exciting. We turn the pages, and we're constantly entertained by the writing, and we're having a great time acting this stuff out and playing it out for you guys.
I love that. Well, one of the great things about these conventions.
My question, Billy, Ralph, thank you so much for coming, for making another trip here to Dallas. You guys make my day so much. You are my favorite heroes for Karate Kid, and I love you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so my main question, during that set on the very first Karate Kid way back in the 80s, what was it like at the end of the production, during on set, when you guys were like fighting each other at the end of the movie on the finals of karate?
Yeah, that actually turned out to be the last thing we did, where very often is the case. You shoot so much out of sequence. But in that case, it ended at the All Valley tournament. And we were well trained and prepared. We had months of time where we would work on the routine, the fight, and we'd start out you know, with pads on and more distance, then each week we got better and better and closer to a point. It was really like a you know, choreographed tango or a ballet for that matter. And so we ran that fight a bunch with like 6 cameras, almost like theater, as opposed to little pieces. We did break it down and do it in little pieces as well, but it was pretty thrilling. You know, I got to win every time, so it might have been different for Billy, but it was.
I lost one time, I think.
And you know, and then that's where the crane kick was born. You know, what has been captured on film and has been part of pop culture and cinema for decades. It felt special at the time, but in no way did I have any idea I'd be sitting here in 2023 talking about it and it being so revered. You know, it was a magical time, man, and it still is. And having the Cobra Kai series and everything else and whatever's in the future, because this franchise just continues in some way. Really, really a special time.
Thank you so much.
And shall we go over here?
Hi guys. Just to echo what was said before, I just want to say thank you both for being here. I had the chance to meet you both on Friday. You're both really wonderful, so thank you for that. My question is 2 parts. First part, were any of the quiets improvised or were they all scripted? And part 2, do you guys have a favorite improvised either line or moment, either from yourself or a different cast member?
The quiets are all scripted. I can't recall if I threw one in. The first time I saw that, we were just doing a rehearsal. This is just Ralph and me and Ralph and the producers at Sony just on the lot, just going through it. And it was the first time I ever saw quiet. It was all in QUITET capitals with 4 exclamation points. I'm like, oh, they real quiet here. So I just went for it, and they busted up laughing, and I was like, okay, really, that's funny? And it's turned out to be quite a thing, and it's used in households all across America now to get their kids in shape. So as far as have I used it? I don't think I ad-libbed any quiets, but I may. As far as ad-lib stuff, I don't know. I can't remember. I mean, a lot of it, some of it's just on the fly. Something will come out, but I can't call anything.
Yeah, it's tough to. I mean, there are some I just nothing's coming to mind as the one ad lib that, you know, we certainly have the freedom when we do the scenes but I don't have one quick off the top of my head that stands out as the most. I don't.
One of the ad libs I think is a verbal. I mean, a physical ad lib for me was the bottle cap thing. That wasn't scripted. That was just something that came out when Miguel was doing the mats in the original in the first season. I opened a beer can and did the flip, and that's kind of turned into a little thing. In fact, that now Sam's doing it to Daniel in one of the later episodes. So that became a characterization thing for the character. You know, I don't know where Paul Hauser is, but he's the improv master. So you guys remember the scene at Home Depot when I meet him the first time?
Stingray? Yeah, Stingray ad-libs. I mean, he's so amazing.
All that stuff, like 80s stuff, like there should just be a reel of him going off about explaining all the things from the 80s. They only could pick a few seconds of it, and he's hysterical. So I wish maybe he'll show up. There's a seat waiting for him.
Well, I did a panel with him yesterday, and his stories are amazing. If you've ever heard his clip.
So he had a solo panel. Who's his agent?
Oh, he already did his panel. That's why he's not here.
He refused to work with us.
All right, let's go back over here to your left.
Hi, I'm Shane, and my question's for Ralph now. Another one of my favorite movies of yours was Crossroads, and so I was wondering if you had any interest in the blues before taking on that role.
Crossroads is. I did. I love the blues. I certainly did a deep dive into it once I was prepping to make that film. So I'm still obsessed with that music. It's the birth of rock and roll. It's a true American music. It was born in the Delta in Mississippi. It's really kind of fascinating to see how, when you look at bands like the Rolling Stones and Eric Clapton and
is The Outsiders. Did you ever try to audition for any other one, or did you try to audition for Johnny?
Thank you. Yeah, The Outsiders is a special one. Certainly, no actors came out of that movie. They're all has-beens. No one I wanted to play Johnny. I really did. I did read for Pony Boy. I read one scene. I was 2-bit and I was terrible. And I don't think I read for any other. But anytime, because it was a big group audition. I just wanted to only play that part. Like everyone was playing different parts. Different actors were grabbing scripts, and you had Tom Cruise reading Dallas, and you had Dennis Quaid reading Soda Pop, and it was really pretty amazing to be there. So I got to read for a few of the other roles, but I got the part that I wanted, and that's super special. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Stay gold, Pony Girl.
I love that. Actually, I've seen so many.
That for me, right?
I know. I sent it to
That's
him
what you
last
said
night,
the last
and
show.
He memorized it perfectly. He didn't miss a syllable. Yeah, I wish I had a teacher that gave me that speech. No, that was great, Billy. I mean, that's it. In creative arts and expressing yourself, you can always do that. Whether you can make a living at it, whether it becomes a place where once you have a family you can support it, that's separate. But as a young person, and alluding to the fact that the internet or having an iPhone, or we didn't have that stuff, so you couldn't make your own content. And
What advice would you give to them?
It's a big one. The rest of the actors are all working, right? Listen, I started when I was 12. I did my first commercial. I met some really cool kids yesterday. Actually, we were talking about acting, and the first thing is like I started when I was young. My dad was in the business, and he said just treat it like a hobby, treat it like a sport. If you're gonna fail at it, if you get rejected and you come home crying, I'm just gonna pull you out of it. Just go have fun. Don't take it seriously. Hold it loosely. And so that was my attitude about it always. So I did hundreds of thousands of interviews. I mean, I auditioned for Outsiders. I didn't get as close to the room as these guys, but I auditioned, my list goes on and on. So you fall down a lot, you gotta push forward. But I always tell kids, dream, if you have it in your heart, there's a way, and there's no real way to say, this is what, check this box, it'll lead to that. If it's in you, you're gonna find a way. Find a local agency around here, get some pictures taken, go out, do some extra work, do plays, do theater, make stuff on your iPhone. We couldn't do that in our day. The internet's amazing. You can make your own movie, put it on YouTube, it gets 1 million hits, and some agent in Hollywood's calling you, for real. Like, it's a different day. So if it's in you, there's two things too, I always say, like, do you want to be an actor, or do you want to be in movies? There's two different kind of things. If you just want to be known, I would say don't do it, because it's an empty world. But if you're an actor and you want to feed on and you want to express yourself and be a creative person, you kind of have no other options. Like, I don't know what I would do if I wasn't acting, really. I mean, I might have been a doctor or a physicist or something like that. But I say go for your dreams. I was 12 years old when I got my SAG card. My first thing was a Kool-Aid commercial, the milk, dial soap, pizza. Commercials. It's just, And then when I was 17, 18, I read for a movie called Karate Kid. I didn't know karate. I never rode a motorcycle in my life. I thought there's no way. Last thing I did was a milk commercial. I was the All-American boy. I'm not going to be cast as this bad villain, karate champion motorcycle gang leader. There's not a chance in the world. And look what happened. So, and I remember being a high school kid. I remember doing plays. I remember doing theater in high school. And my drama teacher wasn't really supportive of my acting career outside of the stage. She goes, you have to choose if you're going to go on auditions or if you're going to do Guys and Dolls. And I said, well, then I'm not going to be in Guys and Dolls. And so I went and my first little spot was on The Greatest American Hero. I had one scene, and they happened to film it in my high school where they were rehearsing Guys and Dolls, and they had to cancel the rehearsal for the whole week, so I could go and do one scene with William Catt in The Greatest American Hero. Did you hear that
story? No.
Yeah, so it was like, and then I graduated high school and I went into film, and I wanted to be a filmmaker, and I was going to Cal State Northridge studying film. When Karate Kid happened, and the crazy thing about that is, that's where we filmed the final fight scene. Was at Cal State Northridge. So there's this weird thing about, like, maybe go to school, but I don't know. I have so many things to say about it. You got to keep like a buffet of things that you're interested in. Keep your hobbies, especially keep your family, keep yourself grounded, and you know, don't take it too seriously. Don't throw everything in that basket, but get experience, work, and it can happen. There's no reason why it happened for us, you know, that it can't happen for you. Whatever that is in your life, dream, you can envision it, it can happen.
Awesome.
That's so
Movies and television, and they're looking at the YouTube, the ones that have the influencers, over sometimes, you know, what you would consider the proper actor, and so there's different avenues to take, and follow that creative dream. Why not? You can now.
Yeah, well said. Let's go back over here.
You want to do an episode of How I Met Your Mother? And without reading the script, I said, of course, I'm in. So then they send me the script, and there's you know, all them, and then there's Ralph, and then there's a clown, and 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 then at the end, the clown is me. And I have one line. And I thought, well, that's a safe way to bring me on television, is just put me in a red nose and, you know. But it was an amazing experience. Those guys are, you know, they're top of the line. They're the best, and they made us feel really welcome, and it was awesome. And then it spun off into another, I guess.
Yeah!
Right? The party's not over.
No.
I know that guys, you know, we had a chance to film at least one of the episodes. I won't get into it, but I've heard the guys explain how if every season of Cobra Kai is like a dinner, season 6 is like Thanksgiving, and every episode is gonna just outdo the next one, and it's true.
Yeah,
Well,
they have a handle on, from day one, on what they wanted with this show, and obviously the longevity of it was, you know, thanks to you guys responding that well to it. But they were always surprised. It's kind of Christmas morning every time we get a script, you know, sometimes surprising, sometimes jarring, and other times just, you know, totally fist pumping. But I think the goal has always been, you know, for it to come to a very satisfying conclusion in some way, but always with the door open for another avenue to take, because this, I think there's more to come, whether it's Cobra Kai proper or other areas in the Karate Kid universe. As long as you guys keep coming to the party, we'll keep playing the music.
Thank you. And you the man, William.
Thank you, Wyatt. Say hi to your mom and your brother for me.
Love it. Back over
You
here.
owe me $20.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth. I just want to thank you guys for coming. You're a staple in my house, like this movie. My dad raised us on Karate Kid, and my brothers and I, we would act out the scenes. Probably shouldn't have done that. But my question is for Billy, because in Karate Kid we see Johnny get a redemption, and so watching Karate Kid, you kind of see it from a different perspective of Johnny. So what's your favorite part about his redemption arc in Cobra Kai?
Well, I mean, I would say this is, you could Google this, but you know, when I read the script, I didn't get Johnny Lawrence until the very last few pages when Kreese says sweep the leg and he doesn't want to, and at the end when he hands him the trophy and says, "You're all right, LaRusso." To me, that was the key to who he is, and I go, oh, that's him, that's the me in him. Now I gotta reverse engineer that and play the bad guy up to that moment and be in a trance, a Cobra Kai trance. That was my kind of subtext through it. So, I mean, for me, I mean, I didn't see him as pure evil. Maybe you could say Kreese was more pure the villain. But you know, listen, there's different shades of everything. And Cobra Kai takes this and flips it this way and looks at a different side of his humanity. And that was my thing when they came to me with it, was I said, whatever happens with the show, I don't want to double down and come away from this having been the quintessential asshole of the millennium. Like, I already am that of the 80s, but like, when this ends, like, I can't have anybody hate me for another 30 years. Okay? So they promised me that that wouldn't happen, you know, and then they kind of pitched it to me too, like they said, imagine if there was no Karate Kid and we could actually call this Bad Sensei, like Bad Santa. So it's like kind of the comic version, I got that. But playing the redemptive part of it, I mean, it's just bringing out a lot of you. I mean, as an actor, you bring yourself to the character, so I just pull forward a lot of Billy and put him in the Johnny suit, and you know, and I don't think of it as being redeemed at all. I don't look at it that way. I don't look at it like, what's the end result? It's just getting to play somebody that's, has his challenges, stuck in the 80s, sees things a certain way, has some virtues that I think are awesome, and some things he needs to learn. And I think that's a human thing, and I think everybody could kind of identify with that, having flaws, trying to get up when you fall down, fixing yourself, making yourself better, or falling backwards. That's the human experience, and I get to do that in this character, and I can't imagine anything more fulfilling. Like, I really can't. I don't know what comes next or whatever, but this is it. This is the sweet spot, and it's been amazing, to be honest, because I was sort of typecast and known as crystallized in a certain way. That memory, that the crane kick that he threw was pretty vicious, and that's reverberated and echoed for decades. So get to unwind that a little bit, reverse engineer that a little bit, and all that. It's been awesome, and it's nice to have people come up and say, "I like you." I like Johnny. The first time that happened, it was like shocking. So it's been awesome. But the show does that for everybody. We're looking at every character at different angles, and not judging people by how they're presenting themselves, but giving people a chance and letting people adjust. I think there needs to be some more room for that in the world.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well said. Let's go right over here.
Hi, sorry. My name is from
Hi, Birdie.
Hi, Everybody say hi, Bernie.
Hi, Birdie.
Like Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother, I also believe that Zappa is the true Karate Kid. And my question for both of you is, who do you think is the new Karate Kid, Robbie or Miguel?
Good question.
Wow.
I mean,
It's like a slap and a punch in the gut.
Yeah. I think by design, Miguel was certainly written at the onset in the conception of the Cobra Kai idea, of the construct of the show, of this sort of millennial Daniel LaRusso, kid without a father, single mom, trying to find his way, needing a mentor, needing someone to walk in lockstep with him, and then it was Johnny Lawrence at that point. So I've always felt that Miguel was on that track, but as the shows evolved, I mean, you could make a case for a few of the characters, but I still think Miguel was sort of the setup of the new Daniel LaRusso in a way.
Yeah.
And if not Miguel, I would even consider Bert.
It's all about Bert, the little kid. It's not little anymore. None of them are little.
He's not little anymore. All right over here.
Okay, you both here, and this is a question for Ralph. I was wondering, what was it like doing the film Secret of Nim to Me to the Rescue?
Well, that was, Secret of Nim was a Don Bluth animated film that was highly regarded. It might have been nominated for an Oscar, the original one. Then they did, I had just done a musical, and I actually did it at the Music Box here in Dallas. Is that still around, the Music Box Theater? No? Yes, no, maybe? It's we got some theater goers over here. Anyway, but I just finished doing a musical called How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, and someone who was involved in MGM Animation, they were doing the Secret of Nim 2, and there were some songs they needed to cast the lead mouse, and they wanted someone with a friendly voice and who can carry a tune. So they made the offer, I got the part. I had a great time with it. It was a new experience being locked in a booth, no images, just doing voiceover work, and then seeing it put to the screen. It was fun. It wasn't of the level of the original. It was more Saturday morning level animation, but it was still fun to do.
All right, back over here.
Hi, my name is Tommy. This question is for both of you. I was just wondering, out of all the three movies, which Karate Kid movie or karate move is your guys' favorite?
Move or
movie?
Karate move.
Oh, okay. Let me think. I'm gonna need some time. What is my favorite karate move that has paid off the most? Wait, I need a minute.
Think, Ralph.
For me, it's a tough one. It's from the first movie, and it would have to be the crane kick. As simple as that. putting me through the ringer.
Oh man. How do you top that?
Spinning heel.
Spinning heel? I don't know. Yeah, yeah, throwing you in the face. Anytime I get to kick Ralph in the face, I guess with any of those kicks were super fun.
And he was awesome at it.
Actually, there is one move I really enjoy doing is it's just in the montage when they're playing You're the Best, and the guy throws a punch and I block it, throw a front kick and go over his arm and kick him in the face with a rack kick. That was kind of cool. You know, I didn't win any trophies for it, but it was legal.
That was the crank kick of answers. All right, here we go. Right over here.
That's a great question. I don't know. I mean, you know, I think LaRusso wouldn't stand a chance. I think it would be really, you know.
Be over in the first round.
Yeah. It would have ended the way the movie should have ended. Just kidding. Wow, it's getting really
Then
dark
we'd have
in
no
here.
series.
Man, all
How
right.
dare you say this?
Hi, my name is Alistair, and I have a two-part question. The first one is, do y'all have like a favorite moment on set? And then like behind set kind of? And then the second part is for Ralph. Do you have a favorite scene in The Outsiders?
I'll take the second one first. My favorite scene in The Outsiders is really interesting. It is the scene where I do the least amount, because as Billy alluded to, I overact at times in that movie.
Yeah, when you're not talking, you're wonderful.
So this is a scene at the end when Ponyboy opens the book and finds the letter from Johnny, and it's superimposed of me reading that letter, you hearing my voice and seeing my face, and then it superimposes Matt Dillon's character and my character. It's something beautifully pure and honest about it that kind of is thematically what the Nothing Gold Can Stay, the Robert Frost poem, means in the storytelling of The Outsiders. And I just really think it's a beautiful scene and one of the best, most honest little pieces of film that I got to act in. The other question was what the greatest moments, behind the scene moments of Cobra Kai? Just watching William Zabka work.
Oh gosh.
No, it's true. Billy in Cobra Kai is you know, a big part of driving that ship, and I'm proud to always stand alongside him and create. I think the show is always elevated when he and I get to play Johnny and Daniel, and so it's just my favorite stuff.
Mine too. I think that's where it just feels really grounded, and it feels like this show has a lot of color and a lot of levels and a lot of things going on, but whenever Ralph and I get to work together, just reading it is fun, and then we're on set, there's just something that takes over that's really awesome, and that was the most memorable scenes for me, really. Those are the ones that last longest. Yeah, so we have a lot of fun with it. We've had a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to finishing strong.
All right, we got time for two last questions, so let's go one over here, one over here. Let's start right there.
Hi, my name is Cade, and my question can be for either of y'all. Were there any scenes in Cobra Kai that got cut that you wish stayed in the show, or any moments that you wish were further expanded?
Yeah, not many though. Not many, but I do have a scene. I think they put it on as a DVD extra scene from season 3. There was a really, and I understand why it was cut. There was a really warm and kind of wonderful scene with Tamla Tomito, who played Kumiko, because there was always a spark of whatever happened to Daniel and Kumiko, and why that relationship wasn't expanded further, and that mainly is because in Karate Kid Part 3 they just kind of just decided to move into a different direction, and it was a goodbye scene that had a lot of layers to it, where you felt they had feelings for each other, but the ship had sailed, and but I understood why it didn't fit in the show, because she was so good in the scene and I was pretty solid in the scene, and you kind of watched the scene saying maybe these two should be together, and then that would have intercepted where the story of Cobra Kai was going at the time. But I'm glad you can find that scene, I think, on YouTube and or the season 3 DVD extras if you want to check it out and see the wonderful Tamlin do more beautiful work. But for the most part, these guys write what makes it in the show, and there's not a lot of waste. There's not a lot of stuff that gets tossed to the side. That's how good they are.
Absolutely. Thank you. Really, really quick because they're giving me the hook.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Cassidy Fajardo, and this is a quick two-parter. What actor do you want to see in like future Cobra Kai fight sequence with you, such as Jackie Chan or any like martial artist that you want to fight with? And if you did do karate in real life, which I assume you did, what color belt did you reach?
JCPenney, $3.99. For both of us. I think yours is
$3.98.
Yours is Macy's, though, right?
Macy's. What color belt would I be? You start at white and go to black? I'm like eggshell. No, I'm better than that. Somewhere in the middle. We work hard at it, though. It was easier 40 years ago, that's for sure. But I love it. Martial artist to fight. I'd rather have a great martial artist by my side. I don't necessarily want to fight them.
Who do you want to take on? John Jones.
I don't want to take on, Chuck Norris and Jackie Chan simultaneously. I don't know. They constantly surprise us with who's going to come on the show. What do you think, Billy?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think we've ever looked at a season and said, "Oh, who's going to be here?" It's awesome at karate like that. I mean, like somebody famous. It's not cast that way to do stunt casting and have the wows in there. Like those would be all awesome things. We have an amazing bunch of stunt guys that do all those tricks and everything. So, but I do think that there may be some cool people coming in season 6. As far as my belt, after Karate Kid, I trained for 5 years and I got second green in Tang Sudo, and then I trained different styles for a long time, and I'm studying mixed martial arts now and started again last year when we were getting ready to do the show. But it's not the belt. It's just like, it's not the driver's license, it's who's behind the wheel. So.
Oh, love it.
Pearls.
Show of hands.
Pearls, use that. Yes, spread it.
Show of hands, how many people have been over the table to meet these guys or got a photo op? Okay, well that's not everybody. These guys are going right to their table, so make sure you come by and say hi. As you can tell, nicest guys. You want to say hi to them. You want to get a photo op if you can. And this has been a wonderful, wonderful panel. As we're going to get out of here, everybody stand up. We're going to turn around. How are we doing this? All right.
I'm doing it this way. That's smart.